mine. I got again over the weekend. This time, thanks to me, who's trying to grow grass, and then forgot to turn the sprinkler off. So that was
Mm.
on me this time. I know, dumb things. I see all of you. We're doing great, you guys. We're doing great. All right. Kids are back at school. Some people celebrate that, some people don't. That's okay. Sean's got a closing coming up. I love it. First day of high school for my son. It's okay. Which is totally fine. I need to make sure. Okay, so my AirPods are on. I just can't hear anybody right now.
I don't think anybody's been talking. Can you hear me now?
Oh, nope. See, that's why I'm like, oh, you guys are so quiet today. Hold on. I got to disconnect stuff over here. This is ridiculous. Let's get rid of this.
Unhappy structure. We'll
Actually,
be
I'm going
back.
to look here for a second. So I am now, my audio is all messing with my head here. So I'm going to make sure
Mhm.
we're
Ooh, Tom had 3 closings last
we
Friday.
are good to go.
Oop.
Awesome. That's a great day.
Well, maybe we're good to go.
Okay.
And now, okay, now in theory, I should be able to hear you. Sorry about that. Okay. Tom, you had 3 closings. I saw that. Way to crush that, my friend. Well done, by the way. Wow, Cindy, you had 23 people at your house?
Well,
Holy
and then plus my brother has his camper there, so there was another
oof.
6. So
That is an exorbitant amount of people.
every holiday for the summer.
So, holy buckets.
So just surviving feels good.
Yeah, wow. Good for you, by
We
the
had a
way.
good time though.
That is a lot of work and a lot of stuff going on, but that's fantastic. Very cool, you guys. All right. Let's see here. I suppose I should record this, huh?
I already am.
Oh, okay. Way to show off. You're doing great. All right, friends. So here's what's going to happen today. First of all, we want to celebrate our birthdays this month. Jay, I see you driving. Happy birthday on the 9th. Tony's coming up on the 15th. Scott, the 28th. And Katie Larson, our one and only, on the 29th. So woohoo! Happy birthday to you guys. Hopefully, you all do something very special and eat a lot of Mexican food because that's what
Yeah.
Minnesotans do for birthdays. So that's good. Um, all right. A couple things we're going to launch into today is we're going to go through a couple of updates on a couple things we're relaunching as a brand. I want to talk to you about a code of ethics violation that I've been seeing a lot going on in the market that we're going to do. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a new app that came out inside of MLS, which is pretty great. Hopefully you are aware of that. We're going to do our stats with Cat piece, which will be fun. And then we'll give you some marketing updates as we begin to kind of roll through here. So hopefully there's a lot going on and life will be good, great, grand, and wonderful. And we will do great things for you today. So first thing I want to talk about. Exclusive look. So, if you've been following any of the news, you're going to hear all about the private networks and things that are coming back. Compass has been kind of a huge driver in this space, good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. But our brand came together and said, while we believe wholeheartedly in an open MLS system and that space, we are relaunching a tool that we had, but there are a couple of improvements. So, for those of you who maybe remember or don't, we have a product inside of CB Desk called Exclusive Look. Now, Exclusive Look is designed for kind of like pre-marketing activities, right? So, in the event that your client doesn't want the property to be listed in the MLS, you have the option starting September 19th to enter those listings. Again, you have to have a signed listing contract in a withheld status, right? So, it still has to be reported to North Star. But you now have the ability to drop it into Exclusive Look. This would be a marketing tool that we can give, basically allowing your sellers more options and flexibility for listing properties. This allows the cool thing about this though with the relaunch, instead of it being just Coldwell Banker, it's actually all of the brands. So the entire network of Anywhere, right? So that's in our markets primarily. We're going to be Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Better Homes and Gardens, Sotheby's are really the big ones that are in our markets. Then you have Corcoran inside of there as well, but we don't have any of those franchisees in our market space. So Better Homes and Garden, Century 21, Sotheby's, oh, ERA, I should add them. Everybody kind of forgets about them. And the Coldwell Banker Network. So anybody within those networks, whether they're corporate owned or affiliate owned, will have access to this database. Okay, so this is kind of a neat little option. It still gives you mass exposure, but in a closed network. Okay, so as the largest, real estate company in the U.S. as the Anywhere Network is, you now have access to still broadcast that and sell in a pretty big way, which is kind of cool. It will not syndicate to websites. It will not be available through MLS either. So while we believe as a company in the multiple listing service and publicly marketing properties, there are times to consider when that is not in the best interest of the client. And this is just another tool, right? So this would be a way for you to expand the reach, again, kind of inside of that space while using the entire Anywhere network of brands. So the entire goal of this product and tool is to empower you guys as the agents with flexible marketing strategies while still promoting broad public distribution. Now, what happens here is you go in and you can also do buyer wants, right? So that's the other thing that you can do, which let me go to my next slide. I think I have it in here. Yeah, so you have so what's new inside of exclusive look? So again, this is a relaunch. We have this tool. It was not widely adopted, so the brand shut it down, and now we're bringing it back because we have the infrastructure. We've been doing this before this was even an issue, but so we have this space where we can say, hey, by the way, we can do sneak peeks of listings that are coming up. This could also you could call this the if it's coming soon, it has to go into North Star, right? It has to go into the MLS. If it is a like sneak peek, which would be an internal term, it would be a withheld with North Star, but you could publicly or broadcast it inside of exclusive look, which would be in the bubble of the Anywhere brands only. Okay, so again, not just Coldwell Banker. You can also then start placing wants and needs in there. Benefits for us would be like the Metro team. If we have properties that we're not putting in MLS, whether it's lake homes or whatever, between those marketplaces, we have the ability to do that. We can also intertwine that within our company, the option to share kind of those wants and needs. Because how many times do we know people coming from Fargo that want the cabin or from the cities that are coming up, right? So it gives us the option to kind of build that internal repertoire as well. Like in Alec here, we use a whiteboard and we just start writing stuff on it. That's what we do here in Alec for wants and needs. It's easy, it's simple. This gives us a way to kind of broaden that network quite a bit, which is great. And what's really cool about this, you guys, is that not only if we can get the adoption of the entire network, it really puts a lot of control in your hands to move forward, right? Imagine being able to come at all of the people from the metro and all the agents there to say, hey, we have a cabin that somebody would be interested in selling, but we're not putting it on the market. You could do something in this category, which is kind of cool. So same thing with exclusive listings. You have to by selecting yes when submitting an exclusive. That's just a little checkbox there. So we will have some new trainings available on this as well on Coldwell Banker University. You have every right to take a look at a course on there and kind of talk this through. Again, this would be an opportunity for you to talk to clients in a way that says, hey, we're going to kind of handle this space and give you another way to network if you don't want to put stuff in the inside of the MLS. That would be the big thing that we're looking at here. Any questions on exclusive look and kind of the relaunch of this? I know we've talked about this before. Some of you have used it, but it's a relaunch with a little bit of a twist, which is what I thought it should have been, including all the brands, because that's part of the power of our network. You guys are super excited on the first day of school. Okay.
I did want to say something. So the wants and needs piece for the buyers, not only will it send you an email when there's a listing put in there that matches your buyer's wants and needs, but it will also send the listing agent that put in the listing an email saying, hey, there's a buyer who has similar wants and needs to what this property is. So it's not like it's something that you have to log into every day like the MLS. Like it'll send you an email and just update you as long as you put your information in there. which I thought was a nice piece because we're all in our email all the time.
Sometimes too much, if I'm honest with you. But that's fine. We're doing great things. Okay. All right. How many of you saw? Oh, this will be a fun little thing. How many of you saw the notice in North Star about CubiCasa? Okay, a handful of you. All right. How many of you have used CubiCasa? Okay, Jay likes it. That's pretty fun. Marv is struggling with her iPhone and is making me dizzy. Marv, I see you and I love you. Holy buckets. Okay, so Katie, you want to talk about this? Sorry.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. So I saw this come through. So CubiCasa is AI generated way to make a floor plan of a property
Oh,
that you're listing.
yes. I
Uh-huh.
remember that.
And it is, so I was curious and I wanted to try it, and it is stupid easy. So you sign up for your account on Northstar on the dashboard, right, where it has all those little buttons, matrix and add edit and all those things. You sign up through there, and then you get the app on your phone, and you literally take the app on your phone. I can actually have my phone, and you just walk around the property. That's it. And so I did my own house, which is what this picture is here. And it actually gives you dimensions. And based on what furniture is in the rooms, it will name the rooms for you. So I don't know if you guys have ever listed properties and think that you've measured everything and seen everything and done all those things as you're going through the input form, and then you forget something. This app is super easy, and then it gives you all of the information right there. Now there are upgraded pieces that you can pay for. And so you can do like it'll give you a 3D rendering of the property where it's like a little dollhouse kind of thing. But this is the very basic version, and through Northstar, this is now free to us. So I super encourage you to play with it like I did with your own house. The app is super easy to use. I was worried it wouldn't be because not all apps are as easy to use as they say they're going to be, but this one was stupid easy.
love
Joy,
it
I know you've used it, right? You like it.
in
hmm
theory.
In
Jay
theory.
gave me a bunch of like hand gestures while he was driving, so I'm assuming it means good things. That's what I'm going with. I think he's trying to get off mute because I see his finger all over, or he's texting while he's driving. I'm not really sure. Yeah, okay. He says it's good. We're doing great things, you guys. So this is actually kind of a neat little thing. I played with it as well. And then what I thought was really cool is it's incredibly simple. My last listing, I did this for. I did it mostly. I wasn't going to promote it or like put it into like my value of services or menu of services. I just was like, I'm going to just try it, right? And it was weird how accurate it was. Which was great because now I'm thinking I don't really like to measure properties. I don't know if you do, but now if I can just like walk around with my phone and then come back to my desk and have the measurements already there, like that sounds like a win to me. So
Mhm.
something to play with. If you are unfamiliar, you should definitely take a second just to kind of just dive in. Again, it's another tool that's available to you. It's a value add from North Star in your dues there. So take advantage. It's actually really pretty simple in that space. And if you need help, feel free to reach out to any of the office staff team and we'll be happy to help you out. Okay, what are we doing here? Next up, we're going to do.
September training. So we had a really good conversation with one of the agents in Park Rapids about converting conversations to actual clients. And how to do that and the pieces to that and how many different ways there are to convert those conversations to clients. When somebody asks you how the real estate market is, what are the questions that you ask to understand, are these clients now? Are they long-term clients? Is this somebody that I can put in my pipeline right now? Or is this my long-term person? And how to get those conversations into conversions of clients. And so we're going to talk about the September training. It'll be all of the tips and tricks for that piece. Especially with cold calls that are coming into the office because we're getting more and more buyers coming into the market. which we'll talk about a little later. But, converting those buyers who just call the office and say, I just need a price. Just let me know a price. I don't
My
need anything
favorite.
else. No, I don't want you, sir. I just want a price. Like how to move past that and get those conversations to actually become a client. So that's what we're going to talk about on next Tuesday, on the 9th.
I love it.
And
By
then,
the, oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, so there's a book, and if you guys have not purchased this one, by the way, this is called Exactly What to Say, Real Estate Edition by my friend. Oh god, this is the real estate one. He wrote the other one, Exactly What to Say. Hold on here. Phil Jones, that's his name. Anybody seen this book yet?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a snippet inside of here, right? So it's what goes on here. He will actually talk about creating specific words and how to use them, right? Oh, so if you can't see yourself doing something, so it goes here, right? So this is out of chapter 9. You can't see that. There you go, chapter 9, right? So he says, "Did you know that every decision any human makes is made at least twice? The decision is first made in your mind hypothetically before it is ever made in reality. So in fact, for a conscious decision to become a reality, you must first have to have at least imagined yourself doing it." Okay? Have you ever been in a situation in which you have said or even just mouthed these words to somebody else? I could just see myself doing that. It's a literal thing, and if you can't see yourself doing something, the chances are of you doing it are pretty slim. So people make decisions based on the images they see in their minds. So if you, as a sales agent, can make and place images in people's minds, then you can use the results of those images to help influence their decisions and what's best for them. Creating pictures in the minds of others is done by telling stories. We talk about this in marketing all the time, where we talk about telling stories and the end goal. It's not necessarily the property, it's the tool that people use. So when we tell stories, we remember as children many good stories that start with the words once upon a time. Nobody was with me. Okay. Oh, Chris, thank you. Appreciate you. Love you, dear. Once upon a time. When we heard those words, we knew it was time to kick back and enjoy the moment and embrace our imagination while someone used words to paint a world for us to jump into. It would be really tough to engage adults with that same powerful preface. Sometimes it does work for us Disney fans. It still works, but for some of you, it's not going to. So you need some sort of magic word to create the same picturesque outcome. When you hear words, just imagine, the subconscious brain kicks in and a switch opens up with an image viewer. It can't help but picture the very scenario that you are creating. Previously, you learned about away motivation and toward motivation. That's earlier in the book, by the way. And you can apply those exact same rules to just imagine. So here's a couple of things to see this. So just imagine how life will be once you've moved into your new place. Just imagine losing out on this property to a higher bidder. Right? The way that I've always handled that one was always when people are like, well, how much do I pay for it? Well, are you willing to pay $1,000 over what it's currently listed for? Yeah. $2,000? $3,000? And we just go until eventually they go, no, you now know what this property is worth to you. Okay. Here's one of my favorites, right? Just imagine the look on your kids' faces when they see this backyard. Just imagine this remaining on the market for another 6 months. Just imagine the girls having their own rooms. That one gets me, by the way. Just imagine yourself in their shoes. Just imagine what it's going to feel like when a buyer walks in here and the house is impeccably staged. Right? So allowing yourself a space, right? So this book specifically is all about the words and well, as it says, exactly what to say, right? And the way that Phil Jones uses these is an incredible opportunity for us to we're not trying to manipulate, right? We're not trying to like steer people anyway. It's literally trying to just open up like they're using the words in order to create the conversation to help people get past a roadblock in that situation. So this is a great book. We will use this one. What's also really fun is I also have a role play game, so that's super fun. No, Barb, not the kinky kind. Okay, this is a wordplay one. I saw her eyes immediately. Same thing, Nelson. I see you over there. Get out of here. Okay. So this one has all sorts of role play stuff too, right? If I can, will you? Would it help if? right? So there's all sorts of stuff inside of it. Anyway, so there's lots of fun stuff that we're going to begin to kind of walk through in conversations. But if you don't have this book, by the way, I highly recommend it. I'll link it in our Facebook group so you can grab it, and I'll throw it in This Week at Crown too. But this is a really good book just to have on your nightstand. It's a quick read. Like I just basically read you the whole chapter 9. So let me throw my book around.
Did you
Anyway,
say Phil or Bill?
Phil, PH.
Phil. Okay, awesome. You know me and my language. That will help me.
Yes, I do. Phil, what's that from? That's from a movie. Anybody? No? Okay.
Modern
Groundhog's
Family?
Day?
Is it Modern Family? Groundhog's Day?
That's the only thing I
Groundhog
can think
Day.
of.
Oh.
Is it
Yeah,
Groundhog's Day?
I
Okay.
think so.
I like how Jay got
Darn.
off of mute for that comment, but not about CubiCasa, which actually mattered. So
I found the button. Sorry.
found the button. I love it. Okay. All right. So just imagine that's the phrase we're going to learn about today. And then we're going to talk about masterminds. Go ahead, Katie.
And then masterminds, we're going to talk about the cold weather marketing playbook. So I know that everybody gets tired out of this coming out of the summer into the fall. They're wrapping up most of their transactions. Then they get ready for the holidays. And then we kind of forget about anything to do with real estate until January rolls around and we're like, oh my God, we have no closings. Everything's falling apart. Okay. So we're going to talk about the cold weather marketing playbook to get you guys ahead of the game so that you have your marketing playbook ready to go for the winter so that you guys can come into the spring strong and hopefully with lots and lots of closings.
Okay,
And we're
I'm
going to do
actually
that.
excited about this one. I didn't even know this was next month's topic. I'm excited now.
Yes. So that'll be the third Wednesday of the month, which is September 17th at 9 a.m. And look for that link when I send it out.
That's so fun, you guys. Okay. That'll be a great time. All right. So today I want to have a little bit of therapy session with you guys. Okay. If you're unaware, Brandon believes in therapy. I think it's a really good thing. So today I really want to talk about whether or not you're an issue. Okay.
I'm the issue.
And
I'm the problem.
you are the problem. My image did not load here, which is totally fine. So here's what I want to talk about. I'm seeing a lot of stuff happen online that says this. Loved showing this gorgeous home on Lake Victoria to my buyers this afternoon. And this is my listing here in Alec, and an agent who I actually really like and don't have a problem with at all. But as they started showing more and more properties of mine, and I follow them on social, and they're wonderful people, and I'm like hearting and loving it and all these other things. I started to think about it, and I went, this doesn't feel right that they're using my listings to promote their own business. And in full transparency, it was very innocent, right? It's not like they're not even saying it's their listing necessarily, right? They're literally just saying, hey, I love showing this home, right? So like to my buyers, right? So like to me, it's very transparent, but something didn't resonate inside of my heart here. And I thought this feels like an issue. And so I started to dive into it a little bit more, and I came across a ton of agents doing this. A ton of agents out there are using other people's listings for marketing material, right? And while there is a place that makes it totally fine. I'm not even against it. Where we get into a problem is without seeking permission. That's ultimately what it comes down to, right? So when you start walking through homes, and I'm even guilty of this. Let me back up just so we're all on the same page. I'm guilty of this, right? Like I used to do this thing where I would say, I had this funny thing and I stopped where it was, weird things at showings, right? Like that was my hashtags that I would do. And I would, every house I would go through, I would find the weirdest thing I could find in that house. And I would just take a picture of just that, so not like a weird thing or anything else, right? So, sometimes it was, the wild carpet from the 70s that was still in the lower level bedroom. It could have been the phone cove from 1940. It could have been the weird hooks hanging from the ceiling in the bedroom. Like there's all sorts of things that you find on showings that you go, okay, this is weird, but I don't know what to do with it, right? So even I was guilty of doing this. I stopped a while ago, mostly because I was like, I don't have enough time to think this far ahead, right? So as these were going, I thought, okay, so more and more people are showing, like on your stories specifically, like the life in the realtor kind of marketing aspect on your social channels. And they're like, hey, here's the house I'm showing. Here's the thing that I'm doing. Here's all the stuff that I'm doing. Where this runs into an issue, though, is well, there's a couple things here. Okay, so let me just jump forward here. Um, my phone, my my screenshot did not load here, which is really kind of a bummer. So there's a couple things here. Number one, there's a problem in marketing a property that I don't have listed, right? Outside of the IDX feed that I get from the MLS, right? So you can post it on your website. You can, you can send it via auto emails and all those other things that you can do because you have the right through your IDX feed agreement that we've signed on your behalf. That you would do that. If you want to market another property, you need to have written permission in order to do so, right? So one of the things, as an example, people say, well, what if it's at my brokerage? You don't need that, right? Like Jay did a video at one of my listings, and all he needed to do was call and say, hey, I'd like to do this video. Do you and your sellers mind? Let me find out. Go to my sellers. Hey, do you guys mind? Nope, we love the idea. Cool, Jay. Yep, you're ready to go. Done, right? Like that's all it needs to do when it's inside the umbrella. But if I was to go to ABC Realty and I want to do a video at their property, I have to get permission from ABC Realty and the seller in order to do that, right? And then that comes with the accreditation and property provided by, so on and so forth. So there's all sorts of things. That's why on the broker reciprocity agreements and the IDX feeds, that's why the fields explicitly says listed by so and so ABC brokerage or whatever else. So there's a problem if we're taking our phones and we're at a listing and we're just kind of like zooming around, taking clips or whatever, because we're now marketing a property outside of that. So the potential is taking video or photos of a property that I'm showing is that it would likely, so this is the Article 3, okay, violation. And by posting it, you're actually just openly inviting it, right? This is where the Department of Commerce no longer really travels anymore because they can just like search you on social media and on the internet and they can find violations all the live long day. They don't need to drive around and interview you. I have not heard of a story of like fake buyers or secret shoppers in like a decade because like they got enough going on. They can just search you and we're all doing things that aren't necessarily right. Okay. And so this is one of them because while it's a Article 3 violation, you're publicly showing the world like, hey, here I am violating my code of ethics. And placing it on the internet is a risk inherently of itself. Okay. So while people can go through and they have every right, so let me move on here. Let me just show you Article 3, right? So Article 3, right, requires that realtors cooperate with brokers when it's in their client's best interest, but this obligation does not extend to sharing commissions. That's Article 3, right? But the standard of practice underneath that is accessing a listed property in a manner that goes against the listing agent's instructions or owner's terms of violation. So you're showing a property outside of the expectation of what a normal showing would be. So the question some people say is, well, Brandon, can my client take photos inside the property? Well, the answer is yes, they can. You probably want to let the seller know, right? Like, hey, we took some photos. They wanted to check on this, that, and the other thing, right? They wanted to check on furniture or whatever else. One of the new things, and this is speaking of CubiCasa, is there's a question now that says, well, what happens if somebody scans the room and they take a floor plan because they're coming back to steal my prized, Terry Redlin painting or whatever, right? That is now a question that NAR is looking at saying, well, should we allow buyers, sellers, agents the ability to like scam the room or to take content inside of that? Now, if the content is for private use from the buyer, I believe that that's okay. I think it's okay that the buyer should be able to take photos. I think that's a reasonable expectation. There's already photos online and promoted of the property. I would just send a quick note to the agent just saying, hey, buyer's going to take a couple snapshots of the property just so you're aware, or put that in the feedback form too. That would be an option too, just to let everybody know they took some for private use, and that is all. But the moment you as an agent start going in, because remember, code of ethics is you as an agent. Our code of ethics says if we start taking content inside of a property without permission, that now puts us at risk of a violation of Article 3. Okay, because now we are doing an activity, we're creating marketing content outside of the expected normative behavior of showing a property. Is that making sense so far? Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the head nods. So while it is not a bad thing, and honestly, I think it's a great thing. Like one of my favorite series that I see a lot online that everybody should consider doing is what does $200,000 buy you in so-and-so community? What does $1 million buy you in so-and-so community? Now you can go to a listing and you can take all the content you want and recreate it, provided we have written authorization that says so. So, well, Brandon, how do I get that? Well, it's really simple. Here's how I do it. I just paste it right in showing time. And I say, hey, so inside of showing time, when you create your appointment, there's a little box that says note to seller and note to agent, right? So you can submit notes. And you can say, hey, seller authorizes buyer's agent, hi, that's me, right, to capture visual only photos and video during the showing and use such content for buyer due diligence, business marketing, which is in compliance with Minnesota law, fair housing, MLS rules, and the NAR Code of Ethics. So now you can take a little snippet, right? Post it in there, hit submit. The seller will get, well, provided, I know each market's a little bit different, provided the seller gets that. Otherwise, the agent, you'll have to call them to say, hey, they also want to take content. Is that okay? And then by approving that showing, you have written authorization and consent to capture content inside of the property. Feels weird, but this is how you do it. You could you could leave off this last half of stuff right here. Right? So you could leave off all this if you wanted to, and then ultimately just come back and be like, for business marketing, period. Right? You could do that. I sort of like the other side of this. Let's see here. I got to figure out how to erase on this thing. I don't know how to erase on this thing. That was a dumb idea, Brandon. Anybody know how to erase? This feels like an eraser, but it's not. I have no idea how to do this.
Hit your back button.
Hit my back button?
Isn't that?
No, that's
No?
okay. I'll figure it out. It's fine. You get the point. This is why I shouldn't use tools I don't know about. I should have used the other one. Anyway, but this is a way for you to get around that space if you are one of those people, right? So again, when you start thinking about what does $300,000 buy us, in Park Rapids, right? So if we could take that a video idea, could search, I could say this is the best deal, right? For $300,000, this is what it's going to buy you, right? And you're going to take content, you're going to video edit it, you're going to post it, and life is great, right? They're very popular videos, by the way. The what does X price point buy you in your given market? They're very, very popular. Also, my personal favorite, which I think everybody should be doing, is the deal of the week, right? Like searching your market, emailing everybody, like what's the deal of the week? And it could be just a simple text message, like, hey, here's what I think is the best deal on the market right now. And it's just like that. You could have one for investors, you could have one for, your cabin people, your move up people, like whatever you want to do, right? Even just a generic, this is the best home on the market right now that I'm surprised is still there, right? That deal of the week mentality. So if you're creating any type of content or you want to do that, this is how you get around that, by the way, from an Article 3 perspective, because I'm seeing it more and more and more. I saw it a ton on some of my listings. And I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to say something or not, because these are people I like, and I know they have no ill intent. Like it's not a negative thing on them, but I'm definitely like, but it's still a problem because it's, if we don't police ourselves, who's going to, kind of a thing. So that's where this comes in. And I thought you guys might, I wanted to share it with you because I know some of you are doing a lot of content creation. I think it's awesome. Just make sure you're getting an appropriate amount of approval inside of that space. Any questions on this? Anything stand up or razz you in any capacity here while I try to see if I can figure out how to clear this. Nobody? Everybody's just going to watch me struggle with this thing?
Joy, I think, has a question. Go ahead, Joy.
I'm
do.
ready.
So let's say it's an elderly person and they're in a care home and they're the actual owner, but their children are the ones selling the home. Do you have to get permission from the actual owner?
Yes. Yep. Or whoever is, like, if there's a POA, that would count, right? If there's a power of attorney on record or something.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but
Mhm.
sometimes there isn't.
Yep. And like, so if you know that, this is like a next level kind of response, which I actually appreciate. You could put it or just have like I'm thinking like on the original listing contract or something like that, you could add some sort of a clause that says something like this, or you could maybe create a form or something, just like a one-off thing that they could sign or something. I guess I haven't thought that far ahead yet, and now I will. So I appreciate that. The answer is yes, though. The owner of the property who has the right to license content would be the one. Like you see it inside of ours, right? Like inside of our listing contract, it clearly states if the seller gives us anything, we have full right to use that, right?
Because
We own that.
sometimes the sellers themselves aren't really even involved in the process. Once
Hmm.
it's listed, they're kind of out of the picture, and it's the children or whatever that do
Yep.
everything else. So, mhm.
No, really good point. Other questions on this? Okay, sounds good. If you want this language, by the way, I'll get it to you. And I'll put it inside of our Team Blue Facebook group so that way you have it. So I'll drop this in there for you so you got it. And I'll make sure to get rid of the red lines because I can't figure out how to do that right now. So anyway, so there's that. Any final thoughts, comments, concerns? Cool beans. Here's my favorite part.
Perfect. My turn. So if anybody was on the David Arbit market report this last month, it's essentially the same story in a different month. Our inventory is growing. We're not back to where we should be, but we're getting there. We're close. If we get lower interest rates this fall, as they've been talking about, we'll see. That will increase buyer demand as as normal, right? Economics, supply and demand. Markets are moving into a balanced market. So if you want to go to the next slide for me, Brandon. This one's the one of the super interesting pieces. So if you look at this is residential housing across Minnesota. This is July numbers based on July numbers last year. Okay. And what we're looking at is the month's supply of inventory in each one of our markets. And a balanced market is anywhere between, I've heard 4 and 6, I've heard 5 and 7, somewhere in that range, right? Brandon says 4 to 6. And so the beginning of the year, all of these months' supply of inventory were very low, 1 month, 2 months, and we've been watching them grow over the year. Our inventory is becoming a balanced market. You can see in the Brainerd area, we're at 4.9 months supply of inventory, which means we're in a balanced market. The Alexandria area, we're 4.3, which means we're just at a balanced market, right? In the Bemidji area, they're actually switching more into a buyer's market. This is the area that also got into a balanced market much sooner in the year than the rest of us. And so, however, statewide, we're at 3 months supply of inventory. So we're not in a balanced market yet. We're still in a seller's market statewide with all of these numbers together. And you can see Mankato, the 16 county Twin Cities and the 7 county Twin Cities, Wilmer, Rochester, those areas are still low. And so those are pulling down the numbers for everybody else in a statewide capacity. But in most of our markets that we're dealing in, we are in a balanced market, and in just one of them, we're actually in a buyer's market. So as you're having conversations with your clients, particularly your sellers, they need to be more aggressive about pricing, right? This isn't 2021 anymore, where our market could come out at 300,000 and we'd tack on another 30,000 and it would still sell for $400,000, right? It's not that market anymore. We need to be aggressive about pricing and making sure our sellers are pricing their property well. Um, mhm. Okay, next slide. This one's always super interesting. So this is daily showing activity. And what this is showing us is buyer activity in our market. So we just talked about how we're moving towards a balanced market. Those numbers are there. And you can see that in this daily showing activity. So that black line there is this year. And the other lines are the different years previous. So you can see that 2020, 2021 line is that big swoop at the top where we had just a crazy year, right? The height of our market is really what that was. And now we're coming back into normal. However, last year, our showings started to dip at this time. Now our showings have leveled off higher than they were last year, which means there are more buyers in the market, which is good, but it means that our sellers don't have as much leverage as they did before. Okay. Okay, next slide. Now looking ahead, this graph looks very interesting, but looking ahead, this is mortgage applications that have been put in. Okay. And so you can see January of 2022, and I'm pointing at my screen like you guys can see where I'm pointing. I do this at the staff meeting all the time too. So January 2022, you can see that mortgage applications, these are buyers going to banks saying, hey, I want to get a mortgage, I think, went down significantly. Okay. Now they're just starting to creep back up. Those ones go away. That's good. Now those mortgage applications are starting to creep back up. This is a leading indicator to what we're going to see in the market in the next coming months. Because mortgage applications are already going up, even though interest rates haven't moved that much, if interest rates do move, we're going to see another spike in buyer activity, which could actually push our home markets back into a seller's market or keep us in a very low balanced market. So keep an eye on this. We are seeing more buyers come into the market, which is a good thing. Any questions about that? These were the only three things that you really needed to know about. Anything that you guys are seeing that you'd like numbers on in your markets?
Does anybody use the like numbers in any of your presentations, whether it's with buyers or sellers? Do any of you use stats, or is it mostly like gut responses, like here's what I'm feeling in the market, here's what I'm thinking, versus here's the data point? Obviously, certain sellers are going to love data. Some people are going to prefer feeling. So it's not one's not wrong. I'm just curious what you guys are doing.
Do you have demographics? Like for ages and stuff? Like what they're looking for?
Yeah, David didn't talk about demographics, but I could definitely pull those numbers for the next meeting. Yeah. Yep. Those are usually yearly or 5-year reports, demographics, because they're based on population movement. But yeah, I can definitely pull those.
Katie, I just asked in the chat if you can run Sauk Center because obviously that's my main market and I didn't see it on there and I would love to see how it stacks up against these other communities. I know it's smaller,
Yep.
but I would like to see it. That would help me.
Absolutely. Sock Center months of supply. Yep.
Oh, is it on
Yeah,
there?
so
Oh, shoot. Did I miss
no,
it?
you guys you'll fall under St. Cloud's numbers because this is broken down by association. That's the word I was looking for. So
Oh,
you'll
wow.
be inside of here, but we can run a very specific number for you. And you can do that through InfoSparks right out of MLS. So that's totally fine there. And just like Crosby, you guys will be, well, and PR, right? You guys will all be inside of here from Greater Lakes, which isn't that great, but we can get much more specific with some of that information for sure.
St. Cloud is weird. It's just so big. I mean, you're including
It's very
St. Cloud
different.
compared to our 5,000 community members here. So,
Yeah,
anyways.
I can definitely run those numbers for especially month supply of inventory for each one of our markets, and I'll send that
Yeah.
out to everybody in an email. Yeah.
Thank you.
Love it.
Perfect. Okay. That's
Is
all
it
we had for stats with Kat. Oh, go
quick
ahead, Joy.
question? Is it possible to get the email or print or something so I can print that off?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll send you the link to David Arbit's stuff, and I'll tell you which page it's on.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Also, I would love to see this monthly. I think
Okay.
as we kind of transition into the buyer's market, just on Friday, I blamed the market. It's not my opinion, it's the paper, it's the market, right? I didn't, it was
Yeah.
not, I'm like, this is not my opinion. This is what's on paper. So, and then they went $20,000 down. I'm like, yes.
Okay. All
So
right.
I would love to see this, yeah, every meeting so we can compare it. I mean, I'm a stats person just like you.
I'm a
Good.
math, I'm a math and paper
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I'm a
Well,
nerd.
I love
Truth.
it. These
Me
people are
too.
my people, every bit of it. Yep. Brandon and his feelings can go hang out with everybody else. That's fine.
Hi, guys. Whatever. Get out of here.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all of those ideas. Yes.
All right.
Mhm. Okay. Last thing I had is the Crown Realtors new forms, the new listing contract, closing worksheet, stuff like that. They're still in process. I do not have a finish date yet. The email that I get back from them is that they have more work than they're used to at the moment, and they will get back to us as soon as they can. So last year, basing my information on last year, it was about mid-September. So that's my guess at the moment. As soon as I know more, I'll send out an email so everybody's aware. But I just wanted to let you know you can still use the old listing contracts in transaction desk, the old closing worksheet. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just want to give you an update on where we were with
Is this me? I don't know who this is.
Gen Blue is sold out. So if you were thinking about going to Gen
You
Blue, which
can't.
was in Fargo, you can't now. I'm so sorry. You
Was not
can
in
still
Fargo.
go.
Was not in
Sorry,
Fargo.
not in Fargo. Flying out of
Definitely.
Fargo to Vegas. That's what
There
I
we
mean.
go.
It would be great if it was in Fargo. But
It
anyway,
would be. I don't think it would sell out, but it would be great. I'm not going to lie.
uh-huh. You can still go if you want to. You just can't go to any of the fun things, or go to the all of the classes and that stuff.
But
So
but
just
you can come hang
FYI.
out. We'll go to the Sphere. We'll get a drink. It'll be great.
Hmm.
Go to the M&M
Yeah.
store. That's always a favorite. So anyway,
Um, However, the Realtors Unite convention, which is September 18th and 19th, is not sold out yet. So if anybody planning on going to that one? Anybody show of hands? Maybe? Brandon?
I'm
Couple
going.
people?
Sharon is going. Barb, are you going? No, Barb is not going.
Okay.
It's a little unfortunate, but it's okay.
Yep.
My heart will go on. It's fine.
Yeah. Uh, I did. Thank you. Yes, Barb. It's like when I slip up and I say Caldwell instead of Coldwell. Yep.
Yeah,
There.
Caldwell Banker.
Caldwell
Yeah,
Banker.
dumb.
Yeah, I cringe every time I do it, but it does happen every now and then. So there is 9 continuing education credits if you do go to Realtors Unite. It's just 2 Realtors Unite. It is just 2 days over in Brooklyn Park in September. So if anybody's going, we'd love to know so that we can all get together when we're down there. Um, but that's all I got there.
Cool beans.
Hmm.
Lots of fun stuff coming your way, my friends. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is something I'm super excited about because Faith is going to share it with you because it's her job, not mine, but I'm super excited about it. And I'm sure you will be too, my dear friends. If I could get a drum roll, please. Realtor. Yeah, please. Yeah. Sorry, I saw that in the chat now. Appreciate that. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about is something super fun. Faith is going to share.
Coming soon, Canva
Wow, that was
X
very
Coldwell
lackluster.
Banker. I don't know. I wasn't expecting a big thing. Coldwell Banker recently announced that we're going to be integrating Canva or Canva Enterprise coming early 2026. So it'll be available to all Coldwell Banker affiliated sales professionals and employees. It will include all the features of Canva Pro plus custom built branded designs that will come from Coldwell Banker. So they'll be easy to use, digital marketing materials, social media posts, dynamic email campaigns, animated content, and probably lots more. Um, Early 2026, we don't have an exact rollout date. I believe they said they were going to update that in coming weeks. The cost will be free, and then there will probably be some training available from Coldwell Banker to learn more about the platform as we get closer to 2026. So
Mhm.
very exciting.
So what's cool about this, if you guys are using the marketing center right now off of CB Desk, which many of us are not because while it has great stuff, it's really clunky. And the brand said, yeah, this isn't working because many of us yelled at them. And so we've pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and finally they're like, yeah, we got it figured out. So this is really exciting. I'm very excited because many of us are using Canva on a daily basis, and it's awesome. So super
Yes,
fun.
and I will mention, I think they said something, if you already have Canva Pro, there will be a easy transition so that you won't lose any of your existing projects. And then eventually they will get rid of Marketing Center, like once it's all transitioned. So,
Awesome.
yay.
Mm-hmm. That's
And then just an
fantastic.
update, reminder once again, if you're looking for business cards, email signatures, custom production maps, social media graphics, those Jot form requests are found in our link tree. And you can scan this QR code to get to our link tree, or Brandon puts them in the weekly CB Crown emails, or there you can find it anywhere. There's a lot of
And if you
places to find
can't,
it.
just ask.
Yes. And then there's a couple like form templates that are available. If you need them, just let me know. There's the offer summary template, and then there's the home showing checklist. Just let me know, shoot me an email, whatever, I can get that to you.
And away we
And
go.
then I think there's just, oh yeah. And then if you need anything else, of course, email me, call me, whatever. I'm always available. Any marketing help that you need, I can try to get that help to you. I don't know. I don't always know what I'm doing, but I will try my best.
All right, it's a story of us all, which is great.
Hmm.
Basically, if you need something and it needs a logo on it, Faith is your person, right? Like, feel free to reach out. Like, I'm gonna call Faith later today and be like, "Hey, I need a 4x8 sign for a new development that we're doing. So guess who gets to design that for me?" Yeah, Faith does,
Yay.
because I'm not going to do it. Anyway, so that's the fun part there. Enjoy. As a reminder, our Facebook group for the company wide is our Team Blue. Again, feel free to share anything that you want inside of there. I'll be posting a couple things from the meeting today, just so you have them in there as well. And life will be good, grand, and wonderful. I have nothing else. Katie, anything else?
That's all I got for today.
Darcy, anything you want to share with the team? Nope. Okay. Faith, you already got to talk, so that's fine. Anybody else got any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to talk about at this point in time? Okay. I see Vern's face. He's like, can we hang up now? All right, you guys. Hey, thank you very much.
I have
Oh,
one quick question for everybody. I have a kind of a farm type property, 10 acres with a huge shed up in Elbow Lake that's not selling, no showings. Wondering, does anyone recommend any type of farm publications? Um, bulletin board type things. I know there's horse publications out there, but what about farm?
good question. Anybody got anything? I do not, unfortunately. I'm so sorry.
No, do you have it listed in the MLS under the farm portion?
No, so I didn't know how to do that secondary because I think you can put because it's technically not a farm. It's just a 10-acre property with a huge shed on it. But how do you do a secondary in the MLS, or do you have to do two listings?
Yeah,
Two
you do two
listings.
listings.
Okay.
Yep. So
Remember
on
when
the
you could do a secondary? You could put it in two by one listing. So, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
so you can't. Oh man, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you can copy a listing and then change the bucket that it goes into.
Okay.
I saw a couple of nods, so I think that is true. Instead of having to, like, when you go new listing and then you choose one of the 5 buckets, I think you can
Okay.
go to your current one, copy it, but then you can reassign it to like the farm bucket or something
Okay.
like that.
I'll try
I
that.
think that's true anyway. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hmm.
Awesome. All right, you guys, appreciate you very much. Look at that, 5 minutes done. Love it. Okay. Have a great day. Love you all dearly. Let us know if you need anything, and happy selling, my friends. We'll talk to you later.